Greetings, I'm Professor Hobo, and welcome to another, you got it, HOBOTECH Knows product review. Today we have the Honda 290 portable power station, aka
solar generator.
That's right, this is a Honda licensed product made by Jackery for the portable power station market. What makes this unique is that it uses higher density lithium cells for its battery pack, squeezing out almost 50 more watt hours of power in the exact same size package and weight as the Jackery Explorer 240. Let's check it out. Let's review the quirks and features of the Honda 290. Now next to me is the Jackery Explorer 240, and this is the Honda 290. They are exactly the same size, same dimensions, same weight, except this is red and it has a more dense battery pack. So let's talk about this, and in the end we're going to compare it to the Explorer 240, which is Jackery's best-selling product. So let's start with the biggest feature of this little guy. This sucker packs a whopping 292 watt hours into this little box because it uses lithium-ion batteries made with BAK brand 2900 milliamp hour 18650 cells. And what that means in English is that they are pretty much the highest quality cells to come out of China. Now the specifications for this are exactly like the Jackery Explorer 240. It's 9 by 7.8 by 5.2 inches at 6.6 pounds. It also has the exact same 200 watt pure sine inverter with a 400 watt peak. So let's talk about the second biggest feature of the Honda 290, and that's its regulated 12 volt output port. This is regulated at 13.3 volts no matter what the state of charge of the battery is inside. So when it's fully charged, it puts out 13.3 volts. When it's just about to die, it puts out 13.3 volts. This is one of the things Jackery is known for in the market, is having a regulated 12 volt output. And that goes all the way down to their smallest product. That means if you have a voltage sensitive device like a 12 volt refrigerator, which most of them won't run once you get below like 12.2 volts, this will actually run a 12 volt refrigerator all the way until this battery is completely dead. And this is also a really important feature if you have a 12 volt CPAP machine, because it'll allow you to power your CPAP machine all the way until this thing is dead. You don't have to worry about it cutting off halfway through discharge. Now the regulated DC output port on this can put out 10 amps at 13.3 volts, so it'll put out a consistent 130 watts. That's very good for something this size. Now this does sport two old-fashioned USB ports. These aren't special in any way, shape, or form. They just put out the typical 5 volts at 2.4 amps, but it works for most of the devices that are out there. Now there are 3 ways to charge this, just like all the other Jackery portable power stations. The first way is by AC outlets. You can plug this thing into the wall or shore power and charge it that way. You can plug in a solar panel that's sold separately. Now Jackery has 2 solar panels that work with this perfectly. You can plug it in and charge it specifically off solar. And a third option, which is a lot of people's favorite, is to plug it into the 12 volt outlet in their car, truck, van, or RV and charge this while they're driving. Now you can also charge this from your 12 volt port. If you have solar on your roof and you have house batteries, you can plug this into the 12 volt source of your house batteries and charge this thing up fully. It actually charges quite well even if the voltage is low on your batteries. So this sucker tops up very easily, unlike a lot of other power stations where they have a hard time once your voltage in your rig gets too low. Now this does have a 7-hour charge time from wall outlet, 7 to 10 hours from solar depending on the conditions and the sunlight that you're getting, and 6 hours from maximum solar. And when I say maximum solar, I mean if you set this thing up perfectly with the right panel and the right conditions, you can charge it as fast as 6 hours and no faster than that, no matter what else you do. Now these rates are confirmed with real-world testing. They are a little more aggressive than what you'll find on the Jackery website or Amazon page. They like to be conservative with their numbers. They say something like 8 hours charge with this, but I charge it myself in 7 hours, so I'm going to report my findings. Now the standard charge rate on this is 42 watts. The max charge rate is up to 52 watts when accepting 16.5 volts using basic PWM charging, which is generic voltage regulated charging, which all current Jackery portable power stations offer. That means you could hook this sucker to a Mr. Fusion machine and it's not going to charge any faster. So please don't ask. Now this thing does have a nice strong PVC case, a strong fixed handle, and all the inputs and outputs are on the front. This does have a class-leading backlit display that shows the exact percentage of charge along with the exact input and output watts on a meter. And all Jackery products have a 2-year manufacturer warranty, and that also goes for this Honda endorsed product. And of course, like I mentioned, the product is officially licensed by Honda, which just makes it a little extra cool. Let's check out what's in the box. So like all Jackery products, they are very well packaged with a lot of blingy cardboard. This does come with a case to keep your chargers safe. It comes with a Jackery warranty card. Tells you what you need to do if you have a problem. Comes with a very basic user manual. And of course, the cute little Jackery card. Then inside you have 2 boxes which are labeled. Box number 1 contains the 12-volt charger. This is what you use. You plug it into your vehicle and you can charge your Honda 290 this way. Box number 2 contains the AC adapter. So this is how you would actually charge it from the wall. So you have this nice little brick and you just plug this in and it does its job. Then surprise, surprise, surprise! What you have in the box is actually the power station itself. Golly! Let's take a quick peek at the manual and see what surprises are in store. Now, of course, it just explains to you the screen and how to plug things in, how to recharge it. And then it just folds out to give you safety instructions and some disclaimer stuff. Also explains the warranty, and then they give you the specifications if you want to take a closer look at that, and then the frequently asked questions. Do note that the operating temperature is from -10 to 40 degrees centigrade, and it does have temperature-controlled surge protection and short-circuit protection built in. And you do get lifetime technical support if you need it. So I did put the Honda 290 through its paces by doing some significant testing, and I'm going to show you some of that right now. This is the Honda 290 by Jackery. It's basically a larger version of the Jackery Explorer 240. Starting voltage, 13.3 volts. This is supposed to be close to 300 watt hours. Let's see what she puts out. With the results of 268.91 watt hours, 21 amp hours, and 2 hours, 7 minutes discharge time. That was at 10 amps, 12 volts. As you can see, this rated very well in the capacity test. It had 269 usable watt hours of a Claim 292, which is 92%. Now, most portable power stations will cut off after 90% discharge to protect the battery inside. So you get a pretty good 92% capacity out of this. And yes, you can charge this while you are using it. So you can use all the outputs, AC, DC, and USB, while you're charging it by any method of 12 volt solar or AC. AC and DC can be used simultaneously, and I point that out because not all power stations allow you to use AC and DC outputs at the same time. Now, this does have a 6-hour shutoff time if you run a load under 10 watts. So that means if you plug something in that uses less than 10 watts, this thing's going to automatically shut down after 6 hours. And actually, if you plug nothing in at all, it'll look just like this, because I did this about an hour ago. The lights are still on. So it'll actually stay on for 6 hours even with nothing plugged into it. Now, I did do a pure sine wave check. As you can see, no problems. We have a pure sine wave at 112 volts, 60 hertz. I also did a USB output rate check. Here's that clip. Here we have the Honda 290, and we're doing the USB port test. We're testing the capacity of the USB ports. Now, these are just good old-fashioned 5-volt, 2.4 amp ports. And as you can see, I have no problems pulling 2.4 amps, so it is as advertised. And I also did a max rate charge test to see what voltages this thing could accept. Now, we currently have this sitting at 10.8 volts. As you can see on the meter, nothing. No charging at all. So let's bump it up to 11.
But it's very, very special because if you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look.
We're as close to 11 as we can get. Okay, 11.0. Okay, at 11 volts, it will charge at 11 watts. So that's good to know. Let's say you're going to charge it from a regular 12-volt lead-acid battery that's 50% charged. So this 12.0 volts is about half charge on a lead-acid battery. 38 volts. So let's bump it up to 12.6, typical charge for lead-acid. So there you go. You're already at your maximum of 41 watts. Now it'll maybe go to 42, bounce back and forth. So let's bump up to 13.2. There we go. We got our 42 watts. When your vehicle's running, you have this plugged in, it will easily charge at its maximum rate of 42 watts. That's very good to know. Jackery designed this properly to charge from a 12-volt source. So we'll bump it up to 15 volts. Oh, we're actually getting a little higher wattage here, 49 watts. We're getting actually a little higher than what you should wattage charging because we raised the voltage to 15. Let's raise it to a typical solar panel voltage and see what we get. 18 volts, we're getting 52 watts. Let's verify that. Oh, it doesn't like it now. It's saying 29 watts. That's funny. Oh, it doesn't like the higher voltage. That's interesting. All right, 15. There's 16 volts. We're at 52 watts. 17.4. It's starting to drop slightly. We got 52 watts still. 18.5 volts. Okay, now after 18 volts, it seems to drop significantly. So this is definitely designed to charge off of a single solar panel. All right, so the lesson we learned here is that at typical solar panel voltages, it will max out 52 watts. So is this a PWM or an MPPT controller? This is actually a PWM, which is the cheaper of the two and not as effective. I did do an inverter capacity test. We can watch that footage right here. This next test for the Honda 290 is the inverter test. I'm going to push it to just over 200 watts and see how long it takes to shut down. Because this is a 200 watt pure sine inverter. We use the hair dryer without heat on low. You can see we're pulling about 120. Hair dryer on high with no heat. Just over 200. So let's go ahead and hit turbo. That should put us around 250. Almost 260. Still going. Pretty decent inverter in this thing. So it's rated at 200 with a 400 peak. And we've been pulling over 250 here for a good 30 seconds. Let's let it go for another 30 seconds and see if the thing shuts down. Okay, I mean, this thing's still going. I'll try putting it on heat setting. That should definitely kill it. Yeah, I kind of figured that wasn't going to happen. It's going to try, though. What's kind of cool about the Honda is that it will automatically reset and keep drying. It's just saying that the heat setting is just too much for this. But it will run just fine on just a fan, so it should turn itself back on. There it goes. So we know it'll run 250 for a significant amount of time. That passes the muster for me. As you can see, the inverter on this is rated for much more than 200 watts. You can consistently run over 200 watts, somewhere between 200 and 240 without this thing shutting off as long as it stays cool. The question I get asked all the time, can these things be paralleled? No, the Honda 290 cannot be paralleled with another power station. Another thing that I'm asked constantly, can you replace the battery inside of it? At this price point, absolutely not. Now, nothing's stopping you from tearing it apart and putting your own battery in there, but that's your own risk. So what do I like about the Honda 290? Well, my favorite feature is the power density. This thing packs a hell of a lot of power in such a small package, thanks to those BAK brand cells. Way more power than the Explorer 240, and they're higher quality, which means they're going to last longer. And of course, Jackery has very superior build quality with a class-leading backlit display. There's no arguing there. And this does pack a pure sine inverter, a very good one at that, so you don't have to worry about screwing up your sensitive electronics. Another thing I like is it's true to capacity. I was able to pull that 92% out of the battery. That's pretty cool. And of course, Jackery's most famous feature, the regulated 12-volt output, which means you can use the entire capacity of this thing to run a 12-volt device, which is kind of rare even today in the power station world. And don't forget the cool blingy badge and endorsement by Honda. Like, how could you not like that? Now, what I don't like, this thing has no quick charge ports, no USB-C ports, No power delivery ports. Plain old-fashioned USB-A 2.4 amp, which isn't so bad as long as you're not using some brand new devices. Now, I just bought a brand new tablet and I have a brand new phone, and those things actually can charge at a much faster rate than what this can put out. So they still work. I could still charge them from this. They just charge a little bit slower. And of course, Jackery's #1 complaint is the slow charging. Now, they do this for safety reasons, I'm told, but the thing is, there's so many competitors out there right now, the same or near the same capacity, that can charge twice as fast. So there's really no excuse, Jackery. I hope your next versions can charge significantly faster. You got to get these things down to about 3-hour charge time in order for them to be competitive. And yes, I am told that this is going to change for the 2020 models coming out, but note that this Honda model is not going to be updated. So what you see is what you get. And another thing which puts this a little bit behind the times is that there's absolutely no weatherproofing on any of the ports. A lot of power stations I have now, they have rubber plugs for the USB 12-volt ports. It makes them splash resistant and dirt resistant, because if you're using them in an environment like this, especially in the desert, the thing's going to get dirty. And sometimes the weather forecast is wrong. I can't tell you how many times there was a 0% chance of rain and it started to sprinkle. Now, when I say sprinkle, that's not a lot of moisture, but when you're talking about electronics, you don't want to get any raindrops at all inside of these USB ports. That's really bad news. So please, Jackery, in 2020, include some rubber plugs in your products to make them at least somewhat water and dirt resistant. And just a very minor gripe, I think the inverter on this should have been a little bit larger, because the 240 has a 200 watt inverter. It's exactly the same as this. I think they could have rated this for 250, and that would have made it a little bit of a better deal. So probably one of the biggest sticking points for the Honda 290 is going to be its price point. Compared to its competitors, it's definitely higher priced, but you're paying for the better battery technology and the Honda endorsement. So what about the competition? Now note, this is considered a premium product from Jackery, and it carries a price to match. This is for those of you who simply want the best and are willing to pay extra for the Honda badge. The main difference between this and the Jackery Explorer 240 model is the battery. You're getting a higher quality, higher capacity battery in the same size and weight package as the Explorer 240. Now, is it worth it? That's really your call. I think if you're running a CPAP machine or a 12-volt refrigerator off this and you need that higher capacity, but you don't want something as large as the Explorer 500, this may be actually perfect for you. And you can charge this with any current Jackery solar panel that's on the market, the Solar Saga 60 or the Solar Saga 100. I have reviews on both of these solar panels, and I have discounts on both of these solar panels. So you can find those on HOBOTECH.tv/Amazon or look for my prior reviews. You can also charge this with literally any other solar panel on the market, as long as it falls between the 12 and 30 volt range of the input of this device. You'll also want to make sure that it does come with or have an 8mm adapter. For recommendations, go to HOBOTECH.tv/Amazon, where I have a bunch of solar panels there, portable and otherwise, that you can hook into this and any other portable power station to charge them up with solar. Now, you want to know what it costs. So with the current promotion, the Honda 290 is $259. Now, the Jackery Explorer 240, which is its main competitor, is $212 after discounts. Now, the other competitors are the Suoki 200, which is $212 also. That's another option if you don't need a regulated 12-volt output, but you want something that charges faster. The Suoki can charge literally twice as fast as this, but the 12-volt port on it's kind of useless because it's not regulated. You can also get the Rockpulse 250 for $188, which is very similar in capacity. However, that thing is a very basic power station, and it's really not even in the same class of any of these other ones that I'm talking about. And I've reviewed all these competitors. All you have to do is go to my playlist, and you can find the one that says product reviews, and I've reviewed all of these, including all the competitors and the solar panels. So you can pick and choose what you want to use. So if you're interested in the Honda 290 by Jackery, the link is below for Amazon, and it includes a discount code for 20% off. Thanks for watching. If you learned something, don't forget to give me a below. And if you're not a subscriber already, You know what to do. That's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe. And clean my litter box.
Shh. Don't tell anyone. But Jackery is having a big Black Friday sale on the Jackery Explorer 160, which is the little baby brother to these guys. It would make a really great stocking stuffer for the tech nerd in your family. So keep it under wraps because we don't want them to sell out too quickly. We want to have everybody have a chance to grab one. Also, we're going to be giving one away on the channel. So stay tuned. And you can see all the... Hey, thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe, share, and like. And we'll see you guys next time. Say hi, Odin.
Harvey Golf Guy, hat.